Greetings. I'm just wanted to say a couple of things about this movie, this 2015 movie, Jupiter Ascending, and this is a sci-fi movie, and it contains quite a lot of information about what's really happening on this planet, and this information is disguised as fiction, as it's usually the case with Hollywood. They tell you what they're doing, what the Illuminati cabal is doing, but they tell you in a way that is disguised as a fiction story. So this happens with movies, books, comics, games, what have you. So I just wanted to go through this particular one, this Jupiter Ascending movie, and it was quite interesting given the amount of disclosure mixed with disinformation that this movie gives us. So the first thing that we need to discuss is why disclose? Why do they disclose? Why would the Illuminati cabal disclose anything? What's the point in disclosing anything? The first reason, and I think that there are four reasons that I can think of. The first reason is a type of karmic management, so to speak. So they're trying to manage their own karma. Basically, what's happening is that through these movies, they are telling us how they are screwing us over, and if we don't rebel, then it's on us. It's our acquiescence. It's our tacit agreement to what they're doing, and they're going to use this as if this was a type of authorization to keep on doing what they're doing. So they want not to be liable from a karmic point of view, because they're saying, look, these guys agree with what we're doing to them. That's one way to see their karmic their karmic analysis. The other possible reason as well is the fact that every time that they are going to attack us in a way, they provide us with these pre-disclosure of these warnings. Say, for example, 9/11 was announced in a number of different ways before 2001. So with this, they are hoping that from a karmic point of view, they're going to be liable not for a surprise attack, but they will be liable for an announced attack. So when karma comes back to them, then this karmic dispensation will have to be announced as well, because that's the extent of their liability. So they want to provide, they want the universe or the karmic visitation to provide them with some warning of what's going to happen, just so they can prepare as well. So this is a type of what I loosely call karmic management type of reasoning. Another possible reason as well is the way that black magic works. The universe is mental. The only thing that exists in the universe is consciousness. Anything else, matter or energy, all of these things are just manifestations of consciousness. So what you tell someone and what this person creates as a mental image in their heads has a lot of power. So part of black magic, part of the power of black magic is the black magician telling the victim what's going on, telling the victim how the black magician is going to screw the victim over. That's part of the power of black magic. Because as I said, everything in the universe is consciousness. Everything in the universe is information. There is another reason as well, which is what I call the control of the narrative. So the Illuminati cabal, they're not a solid block, they're not a monolithic block. There's several different groups, and these groups war against themselves sometimes. Especially more recently that things are going belly up for the Illuminati cabal, that these groups are now warring between themselves more and more. So certain groups, they have decided to take the initiative and start disclosing things to the general population, because this is the way that they will gain control of the narrative. So, for example, well, if you see two kids, fighting, and then one kid decides to go and tell his mom, so you will see that the first kid that goes and tells his mom will gain control of the narrative. When the second kid goes and tells, the first kid can always say, look, he's lying because I already told you my story, and you have already started to believe what I say. So therefore, the one that gives the first hints of the narrative to the judging entity will, in a way, gain a type of control, will gain a head start in controlling the narrative. And of course, the fourth reason is that a lot of the disclosure that we see is just it's just full of disinformation as well. So by disclosing certain things, they are also allowing us to swallow a whole deal of disinformation, and this is what this quick presentation is going to be about. Now, the movie starts with residents of the Earth. They are blissfully ignorant about what's really going on. They're completely ignorant that there are aliens around, that aliens walking among them, and aliens in fact controlling the Earth and human society. So this is a bit of disclosure, because this is really what's happening today. If you talk about for example, the reptilian control of the Illuminati, the Illuminati pawns, and how these groups control human society. If you go and talk about these things, you're going to be called, a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, etc. You're going to be ridiculed, and this is the extent to which mankind has been brainwashed to ignore what's happening to them. And the movie starts with that type of narrative as well. So this is the first bit of disclosure that the movie has. Now, one interesting aspect of the plot is that this guy is Kane Wise. It's interpreted by Channing Tatum, and he is a genetically engineered soldier. So in this case, he's half human, half dog, and And if you look at the way that he acts and what he does in the movie, you will see that his character is just a cabal telling us about the Super Soldier program. The Super Soldier program is a program that engineers people from the genetical point of view, and these people have certain abilities, and they work at several different levels of the military and secret services, etc. And all of the and they are the arms of the eyes and ears of the cabal, and this is very clearly stated in this character played by Tatum. A very interesting aspect of the whole movie as well is that we have this alien royalty that they control a number of planets, including Earth, and they actually grow humans. That's right. They actually they see the planet Earth as a farm where they grow humans, and they trade what they call the youth serum. So basically, when they kill a human on this planet, they are able to extract from the body something that they call this youth serum, and this youth serum is what gives them almost eternal life. And this commodity is sold by this group, by this royalty, throughout the galaxy, and they obviously make a lot of money out of that, and etc. So this is the cabal telling us about interplanetary trade, but also the cabal telling us about how humans are genetically modified and in a way grown to provide these alien beings with a certain type of energy that we're going to discuss later. You see that in the movie, this Captain Diomika Singh, she heads the Aegis. And the Aegis is an interplanetary military fleet that protects Earth and mankind, and protects other planets as well. So this group, the Aegis, has quite a lot of similarities with Solar Warden, which is an actual group that exists in reality and plays this role of interplanetary policeman. And you can go to the material provided by Corey Good and David Wilcock, Michael Sala, William Tompkins, and quite a lot of people that are doing research in this area, and you will know about how Solar Warden is playing a very important role in how we develop down here. Now, the whole movie is very strong in the sense of transhumanism and genetic manipulation of the human genome. And in reality, we know that mankind is the genetic combination of 12 different types of aliens, or perhaps even more, perhaps even many more types of aliens. So this is a very interesting aspect of the movie that they disclose to us. They disclose in this type of soft fiction disclosure, but they are, in a way, they are releasing the information in a way that if you have your third eye chakra closed and you are a materialist, you can deny and you can say, well, this is just a movie. it's nothing really to be concerned about. You have this interstellar trade that is a very strong part of the movie. It's where the aliens, so the royal aliens, they get their wealth from, and this is a very important part of what's really going on. So you can go to the sources that I mentioned before, those researchers that I mentioned before, including people like Linda Moulton Howe, Carrie Cassidy, and many others, and you will see that they show you very strongly that aliens do have interstellar commerce, and certain groups on Earth, including the what we call the Illuminati cabal, they are benefiting from this interstellar commerce without mankind down here really knowing anything about it or benefiting from the fruits of this commerce. Now, a very interesting aspect of the movie is these guys there. They're called the keepers, and these guys are they are robotic aliens, and they do the bidding of the reptilians. They do the bidding of the bad guys. They affect. They kidnap people. They abduct people. They do genetic experiments, and in reality, they are representing the Greys. The Greys are the robotic henchmen of the reptilians, and the robotic henchmen of the mantids, for example, and they do all of this dirty work for these bad guys, and this is really very well portrayed in the movie. Now, so these were the key aspects of disclosure that I wanted to show to you. Now, if we could hone into the disinformation aspect of this movie. So a couple of a few things that I just wanted to mention in terms of disinformation. That's going to be quite interesting. The first is this idea that the reptilians, and here is one of them, the reptilians they're not really in control of the whole black agenda. In the movie, you will see that the reptilians are just the henchmen of the alien royalty. And this is very interesting because in reality we know that the reptilians are the ones calling the shots. The reptilians control the Illuminati cabal, and the reptilians control mankind, or at least they up until recently they did control mankind. So to me, it has a very strange parallel with what happened with the Nazis after World War II, where they had the Nuremberg trials, and a lot of the Nazis were just saying, look, don't look at us, we were just following orders. So this attempt to portray the reptilians as, oh look, just the guys that are loyal soldiers for the really bad guys, they are just following orders, they're not really to blame. So to me, this attempt was really very it looked really very fishy. It looked like the reptilians have started to get more and more concerned with how they are going to be portrayed to the population after an eventual disclosure, which is a full disclosure, which is about to happen anyway. There is also, of course, the view that aliens are portrayed as evil. So all aliens are portrayed as evil, and this is also a bit of disinformation, because we know that there are a number of positive alien groups working with mankind to rid it from the nefarious presence of the reptilians and other negative groups as well. But to me, the most amazing bit of this information relates to the harvest. In the movie, the harvest was a horrible event. What happens was, when the population of the Earth, every few thousand years, when the population of the Earth reached a certain level, the alien royalty would then affect the harvest, which means they would kill a huge amount of people on the planet, and they would extract these youth serum from their bodies or from their souls or whatever. This is not really very clear in the movie, and they would then sell this commodity throughout the galaxy and make huge amounts of money. But what's really important in this case is not how it's done, but how this event called the harvest is portrayed as a very, very negative event. So they say the harvest is a horrible event for mankind, is the time where pretty much everybody's going to die, because we need to make money out of your souls, out of your life energy. So they portray the harvest as a horrible thing, as something to be feared, something to be postponed, something to be avoided if possible. And we know that this is not the case. For example, the New Testament in the Bible, they refer to the harvest as this point in time where mankind is going to ascend. So the harvest is actually the preparation for the coming of the kingdom of God. The harvest is the moment when mankind grabs hold of its own destiny. So the harvest is a great thing. It's not a bad thing as they're portraying in the movie. The harvest is a great thing. The harvest is the moment of liberation from Satan, the liberation from the satanic forces of the Draco, the liberation from the evil forces that want to keep us in third density forever, because that's how they're going to extract energy from us. And the movie has been trying to portray the harvest as a bad thing, and even in works such as the Law of One, we have a description of the harvest as being the moment of ascension of mankind. So this very positive thing has been constructed, has been portrayed in the movie as a negative thing, something that needs to be avoided, something that needs to be fought against. And this is the type of disinformation that we see time and time again in anything that comes out of Hollywood, anything that comes out of the media, the cabal-controlled media, and etc. So this is it. Keep a positive attitude. Fill your hearts with love, unconditional love, compassion. We are going through a ride now the cabal is close to being defeated. We have already information that the Draco, they're in complete disarray. So this is mankind's moment to shine. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless you.